When should you use a broker price opinion versus an appraisal? Well, the majority of broker price opinions, BPOs, are being used for lenders for properties that have a mortgage. Especially the lender, they want to find out what the house is worth. And for them to get something quick, they'll order a BPO or broker price opinion. And I've been noticing that the majority of lenders are requesting these for short sales. That's when the owner is having issues with their property. They can't pay it. So the lender accepts less than what is owed. Or loan modification, that's when they're trying to keep the property and they redo their mortgage terms. So they do a loan modification. Also, I've been noticing that they're doing them for private mortgage insurance removals, PMI removals. In other words, that's when you purchase a home and you pay less than 20% down payment. So you get a private mortgage insurance on your loan, and you can remove that private PMI after 2 or 3 years, depending on how much equity you have gained on your property, within maybe 20% or 22%, if I'm correct, or the other way around, 80%, if I'm correct. So that's when they're using those. And of course, private BPOs are being used also for divorce cases, because I'm getting them. I have attorneys calling me to do a broker price opinion, a BPO, for their property that's going through either a divorce or so forth, and they just want to find out the value so they could share with, and they know how much they have to share between both parties, husband and wife. And of course, living trust, if it's going to a probate or living trust, they'll use them for that also. That's what I've been noticing that they're using them for. They do use the PCRs, property condition reports. They use the PCRs for home equity line of credits. Technically, the PCRs, I think I said in another video, you just got to take pictures and then just write a small little report. They would just want to find out the property, the condition of the property, and if it's located in a disaster area. So they use those for home equity line of credit. That's what I've been noticing, and the PCRs. So that's what it's been using them. And of course, you can't go wrong with the appraisal. Appraisals, they're still being used. To this day, they're still being used for purchases, and of course full refinances. So it just depends on what your price range, your affordability, because appraisals do cost a little bit more, because they do give you about 30 pages of a report versus in a BPO that you're going to get probably 3 or 4 pages. But they're both based on comparables. Just the appraisal is more in depth. That's why it costs a little bit more versus a BPO that it's being done by a real estate agent or real estate broker, just like myself. So that's why it all depends on you. If you're a homeowner, you could either get either or. You're probably going to get the same value. It's just one is more in depth than the other, but they're both the same. You look at BPOs, broker price opinions, just like if you are trying to sell your property and you ask a realtor or broker, just like myself, to find out how much your home is worth, and you want to sell it, and we'll tell you how much the property will sell on the market. And no matter what, it's going to appraise. So that's what a BPO is being used. So you have options as an owner to use either or, but it depends on the lender. If there's a mortgage, it depends on the lender what they want to use. They could even just request a BPO just like that without anything. That's my take on when should you use a BPO instead of a appraisal. Subscribe and follow. Broker Danny is out.